Same day, the Prime Minister received telephone call from His Excellency Mr. Ahmad al-Shara, President of the Syrian Arab Republic. The two sides emphasized the urgent need for restraint, de-escalation and dialogue to preserve regional peace and stability. Same day, the Prime Minister spoke with His Highness Sheikh Sabah al-Khalid al-Sabah, the Crown Prince of Kuwait. He affirmed Pakistan's solidarity and support to the leadership and people of Kuwait at this critical time. And on 3rd March, the Prime Minister held telephone conversation with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan of the Republic of Turkey. And in addition to the crisis in Gulf, the two leaders also discussed Afghanistan. On 4th March, ladies and gentlemen, Prime Minister held a telephone conversation with His Excellency Nawaf Salman, Prime Minister of Lebanon. He condemned the strongest term Israeli aggression against Lebanon and conveyed condolences over the loss of precious life due to Israeli attacks. And he reaffirmed Pakistan's solidarity and offered full support. The same day, the Prime Minister spoke on telephone with Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim of Malaysia. Both leaders agreed to remain in close contact on all issues of mutual interest. And on 6th March, the Prime Minister held a telephone conversation with His Excellency Ilham Aliyev, the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan. During this conversation, and this followed the landing of certain projectile and vectors in the Azeri territory, the Prime Minister condemned in the strongest term these drone attacks in the Nakhchivan enclave of Azerbaijan that targeted innocent civilians. We offered complete solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Azerbaijan. And our Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar, has also engaged with his counterparts in the region and also outside the region. And in the last 12 days, he had spoken at least 3 times with the Foreign Minister of Iran, Sayyid Abbas Araghchi. First one was on the 28th of March, then on the 6th and 7th, 28th of February, and then on 6th and 7th of March. The two leaders remain in close contact, exchanging important messages on ways to end the crisis and chart a peaceful and diplomatic path forward. On the very eve of the onset of hostilities on 28th February, in a single day, the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister spoke with the Foreign Ministers of Uzbekistan, Saudi Arabia, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of UAE, and the Qatar's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs. So in these conversations, views were exchanged on the regional situation. They agreed to remain in contact and work for peace and stability. The next day, on March 1, our Deputy Prime Minister spoke with the Foreign Minister of Oman, and on the 2nd March with the Foreign Minister of Bahrain, on the 3rd March with the Foreign Minister of Azerbaijan, and on the 4th March on 4th March, he visited the Iranian embassy in Islamabad to sign the condolence book on the martyrdom of His Eminence Sayyid Ali Khamenei, the Supreme Leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran. He conveyed heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family and to the Iranian nation, and reaffirmed Pakistan's solidarity with the brotherly people of Iran in this hour of immense national grief. You may recall that earlier Pakistan had extended sincere condolences to the people of Iran on this tragedy and in their hour of grief and sorrow. The same day, the Deputy Prime Minister spoke with the Foreign Ministers of Egypt and Turkey. The next day, he held telephone conversations with the Foreign Ministers of Canada and Azerbaijan. On 7th March, he spoke with the Commonwealth Secretary General, Shirley Botchway, and later he spoke on the same day with the Foreign Ministers of Malaysia, then spoke with the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of the UAE, which was his second call with his UAE counterpart since the onset of these hostilities. He later spoke with the Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council and the Deputy Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister of Jordan. So this took place in one day. On 10th March, the Deputy Prime Minister spoke with the Bahraini Foreign Minister, Mr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani, and reaffirmed our solidarity with Bahrain, highlighting the need for de-escalation, dialogue, and efforts for peace and stability. The same day, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister held a telephone conversation with the Foreign Minister of China, Mr. Wang Yi. They exchanged views on evolving regional situation and global developments, and situation in Afghanistan also came under discussion. The same day, the DPM spoke with the foreign ministers of Saudi Arabia, Mr. Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud, and the foreign minister of Kuwait, Sheikh Jarrah Jabir Al Ahmad Al Sabah. They expressed deep concerns over regional developments, including attacks on Kuwait. The DPM conveyed our full solidarity with the Kuwaiti people and urged the need for dialogue and de-escalation to promote peace and stability in the region. Yesterday, the DPM also spoke with the Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, Dr. Khalilur Rahman, and they shared notes and basically expressed concerns on the evolving regional situation in the Middle East and vital implication for peace and stability. And today, just before leaving for Saudi Arabia, in fact, very early hours in the morning, the Deputy Prime Minister spoke with the Oman's Foreign Minister, Badr bin Hamad Al Busaidi, to exchange views on serious and evolving situation in the Middle East and the region. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, on a different topic, you must have seen our statement on expressing our concern on the long-term uranium supply agreement conducted between Canada and India and potential contribution for small modular reactors technologies between the two sides. Let me reiterate that this arrangement represents yet another country-specific exception in the field of nuclear cooperation. It is particularly ironic that given that India's 1974 nuclear tests were conducted using plutonium produced in the reactor supplied by Canada for quote-unquote peaceful purposes. And this had led to not just to the Indian nuclear test of 1974, but also the creation of Nuclear Suppliers Group. So a state whose actions necessitated the establishment of global export controls is now being granted a preferential access under selective arrangements. So India has neither placed its civilian nuclear reactors under International Atomic Energy Agency safeguard, nor undertaken any binding commitment to do so under this arrangement. So several nuclear facilities in India remain outside international inspection, and it is also not clear to us what concrete non-proliferation assurances, if any, accompany this India-Canada agreement. The strategic consequences of India-Canada nuclear agreement are equally troubling. Assured external uranium supplies effectively release India's domestic reserve for military use, enabling the expansion of India's nuclear weapons program, expansion of its fissile materials stockpile, acceleration of the growth of India's nuclear arsenals, and deepening existing asymmetries in South Asia. In this context, the arrangement also undermines the commitment of Canada to the international non-proliferation regime and Canada's corresponding obligations under this framework. So Pakistan would reiterate that civilian nuclear cooperation must be governed by a non-discriminatory criteria-based approach applicable equally to the states that are non-parties to the nuclear non-proliferation treaties. Selective exceptions diminish the credibility of global non-proliferation framework and risk further destabilizing region and global peace and security. So I'll end my opening remarks here and we'll open the floor for question answers. Ji Sumera.
इस्लामाबाद में तर्जुमान दफ्तर ताहिर हुसैन अंद्राबी की हफ्तावार न्यूज़ ब्रीफिंग। उन्होंने कहा कि पाकिस्तान मशरिक़ वस्ता में जारी कशीदगी का पुरअमन हल चाहता है। पाकिस्तान बिरादर खलीजी ममालिक के साथ यकजहती का इजहार करता है, जबकि अज़रबैजान खलीजी ममालिक पर होने वाले हमलों पर तशवीश का इजहार किया गया है। वज़ीर आज़म सऊदी अरब के दौरे पर रवाना हुए। कहा जा